So guys, this is the bit you've been waiting for. This is my strategy. This is what I would do as a marketer to market my music. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. In this video, we're going to talk about whether musicians should release a track, an EP or an album. We're asking this because the landscape has changed dramatically over the last few years. Some are basically doing what they know best, while others really haven't got a clue at all. Hi guys, my name's Des from the Music Marketing Academy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. If you're looking to market either you, your band or your brand in this fast growing music industry, then you've come to the right place. Let's get on with the video, but first. Hey guys, if you're a musician and you want to learn more about marketing both you and your music, use the link in the description to join over 300 other musicians. There's lots of other cool tips, tricks and access to a lot of really useful tools. Looking to make money with your music? Then the Music Marketing Academy is just for you. Let's get back to it. So what should you do guys? Should you release a track, an EP or an album? Which one? And I'll be honest, this is a question that has miffed a lot of artists and they really just don't know what to do. They read one article and it says do this, and they watch a YouTube video and it says do that. So get strapped in, because in this video I'm going to lay things out plain and simple so you know at the very end of this video exactly what you need to do. So first off, we're going to start with a new artist or a new band. This is probably the easiest place to start. So first off, we're going to start with a new artist, and the reason why we're going to start off with new artists is you guys haven't got the experience, you haven't actually done much writing, you haven't done much producing, you haven't done much mixing, so this is the perfect place to start with you guys, and that's whether you're an artist or a band. So first off, we're going to start with new artists and new bands. The reason why we're going to start there is it's much easier to break down exactly what you guys need to do because it's relatively straightforward. So guys, let's be completely and totally honest. You haven't actually got as much experience as the veterans. And the reason why you haven't is you haven't been at this game long. You know, you've only just started writing, you probably just started producing, and you probably haven't really got that much idea about mixing. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it all depends where you are on your music journey. Even if you're a new artist or band, it depends where you are on your journey. If you're gonna release an EP or an album, you do really need a sizable audience. And I'm kind of guessing at the moment, if you're just starting out, you probably haven't got one of those. So what I would recommend, if you're a new band or you're a new artist, you need to learn your trade first. You need to learn how to write, you need to learn how to produce, you need to learn how to mix. You need to learn your trade before you go on to start producing EPs or albums. So in my opinion, you really do need to start off just producing tracks at first. And the reason why I say we start with you guys first is you're at the start of your journey. You really do need to learn how to do everything first. And you need to know how to do it from start to finish as well. Once you know how to do that, it's a lot easier to release a track and to market it at the same time. And I'm kind of guessing if you're a new artist or band, you haven't actually got that much material anyway, so it's a lot easier for you guys to release a track at a time. That way you can learn your trade. So forget about EPs, forget about albums, just release a track at a time. Now, if you're an established artist, and I know you guys have been waiting patiently for this, but if you're an established artist, I recommend that you either do an EP or an album. We're going to have a look at those right now. Now, in this point of the video, have you got any comments? Do you prefer releasing an EP or do you prefer releasing an album? Leave your comments down below, I'd love to hear from you. Now, the reason why I recommend an established artist doing an EP or an album is because you guys know what you're doing by now. It's not going to take you long to go through the process, well, it's not going to take some of you long to go through the process of actually producing one. And when I say not long, it's not going to take you as long to do as a new artist or a new band. And that's because you guys have already learnt your craft, you already know what you're doing. Now, to get even deeper with this, we need to define your goals. We need to find out exactly what you want to do with your music, because people have got different perspectives on what they want to do, and we need to actually break that down to what you want to do. Now, let's be honest, if you're releasing a track or an EP or an album, you're going to get a lot more exposure on Spotify. The only problem is Spotify isn't really set up for EPs or albums, it's set up for tracks, isn't it? Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Spotify is still good. It's still good to promote your music on. You're still going to get a lot of exposure, especially if your music is added to certain playlists. But if your goal is to make some really good money with your music, there might be another option for you, which we're going to get to. You see, if you're bringing out an EP or an album, you really do need to weigh up the cost and how much time it's actually going to take you to actually produce that, rather than producing a track. You then need to figure out exactly what tracks you're going to release off that EP or album. So guys, if you've been in this position before, please leave a comment down below. Honestly, I actually really do want to hear from you. I want to hear everyone's perspective, and I get back to everybody if you leave a comment. Also, if you've liked the video so far, please like it and subscribe. A lot of people watch this content and they forget to subscribe. So if you don't mind, if you can do me a solid and subscribe, it helps the algorithm show my content to more people, and I'd really appreciate that. So thanks. So in order to break things down on a deeper level, we need to look at EPs versus albums. Which one should you do? So let's break things down. An EP is literally just a snapshot of your music. An album, on the other hand, is actually giving it your best. You're showing everybody what you're worth and what your music is all about. Whereas on the other side, if you want to leave a legacy, a lot of fans will remember your albums rather than your EP. So that's something you want to think about as well. And don't forget guys, it takes a lot longer to produce an album. An EP, maybe a few months. An album could take you a whole year. So that's another thing you really do need to think about. Also, EPs give you the flexibility to launch, and then you can produce another track that's not even related to that EP. It's not so easy to do that with an album. Also, it depends on your genre of music. Not all genres will accept an album. A lot of your fans will not want an album. They want more tracks from you. And this probably applies to the younger generation, if I'm honest. They've kind of been brought up through this streaming platform service that we've all come accustomed to. So they're not actually used to buying albums like we used to in the old days. And if we're completely and totally honest, some albums are EPs in disguise. So a lot of people produce an EP and then they kind of like bolt on a few tracks to make it into an album. So it's not really an album, it's an EP, but it's made to look like an album. So next we're going to talk about my strategy. We're going to talk about what, if I was you, what I would do going forward. But first, what I want you to do, if you're interested, I have another video that explains the struggles that musicians have and how to overcome those. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to put it actually in the card above this video. So in my strategy, it's the best of both worlds. It allows you to release a track, but it also allows you to release an EP at the same time. And in marketing terms, it takes as much energy and attrition to actually promote a track than it does to promote an EP. So do you want to hear my strategy? Because I think this will really benefit you. So guys, this is the bit you've been waiting for. This is my strategy. This is what I would do as a marketer to market my music. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. So a lot of you scratching your head at the moment, wondering what the hell am I talking about? Listen, stick with me here, because what you're going to do is you're going to have the best of both worlds. You're going to release an EP on Bandcamp, okay, but you release it as download only. They can't stream this unless they actually get it from Bandcamp. It's not going on Spotify, it's not going on Apple Music, it's only going to be on Bandcamp or a similar sort of website. And now the next bit is really key. This is where you really need to use your social media influence. You need to, if you've got a database of fans on a list already, this is where all of this comes to. If you've got a private Facebook group, this is where this comes into it. You really need to tell your fans or your existing fans that it's only on Bandcamp or a similar website. And the reason why you tell them this is you tell them that you're not actually making that much money on Spotify. Spotify is good for exposure, and listen, this is what I would do. You need to explain it to them that you don't make as much money on Spotify, but they could really help you if they downloaded it on Bandcamp. Now I know a lot of you kind of like mind blown and losing your mind at the moment, but look guys, stick with me here. What you're going to do is you're going to have it on Bandcamp, but what you're going to do is you're going to release a track at a time onto Spotify or Apple Music. So you're going to have one track that streams once a month that's going to Apple Music or Spotify. So you got the EP sits on Bandcamp and you release a track one at a time on the streaming platform. So you've got two bites of the cherry here. You've got the EP that you can get money for when your fan downloads it, and obviously you've already explained to them why you want them to download it there, but you're also going to tell them that they can actually stream a track if they like the track that you're going to bring out. So depending on how many tracks that you have on the EP, you're going to release them one at a time. But what you're going to do is you're not going to release all of them, you're going to hold two back. Those two that you're going to hold back are exclusives. They're only exclusive if they download it on something like Bandcamp. So do you see where I'm going here? You've got the exposure of Spotify and Apple Music. You're going to release a track one at a time on those platforms, so you're going to get the exposure there. You can lead your fans through a storyline of telling them that that's what you're doing. But what you're doing is you're pleading, and I don't like to use the word pleading, but you know what I mean. In a certain sort of way, you're actually pleading with them to actually download it from Bandcamp instead. And this is one of the reasons why I suggest doing an EP rather than an album. You can get away with producing an EP that's maybe got 5 or 6 tracks on it. Like I said, leave 2 back and release the other ones on Spotify or Apple Music or any other streaming service that you use. But you leave 2 of those back on Bandcamp. That way your fans will get some of your music, but they won't get all of it unless they download it. So guys, if you think about it logically, and I've run through the numbers, even if you only sell a few of those EPs on Bandcamp, for example, right, you're still getting the exposure from the other ones, but even if you only get a few sales, I guarantee you're going to make more money from that EP if you told the story correctly than you will on streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. So what do you think of that? Is this something that you could do? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if I've completely blown your mind and you think what I'm saying is absolutely stupid. I'd really love to hear from you. I'm the sort of person that likes to zig where everyone else is zagging. So that's why I've come up with this method. And it probably sounds a bit strange to a lot of you. And there's going to be a lot of you that don't actually agree with what I'm saying. What I would say is consider it, have a go and see if it works for you. And I guarantee once you look at how much money you've made, as long as you tell the story properly, you're going to be amazed at how much money you can make on a platform like Bandcamp in association with the other streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. So guys, what do you think? Should you release a track? Should you release an EP? Should you release an album? You guys let me know in the comments down below.